Down in front.
Congratulations to you, Dan. This question's for both of you in different ways. I'm going to get specific on you. When you look around the National Hockey League, the teams that are succeeding the most tend to be the ones that have the most mobile defensemen, that have the guys that can circle through the zone, can pinch up. Now, we've seen in recent years here, we've seen both the pluses and the minuses of that. In some cases this past season, big minuses. And I want to ask both of you if you've had discussions with each other about, I mean, you have to do this in concert, right? Everything has to happen together, the way you're building the roster and the way you do it. How much toward the defense can you guys create something of a symbiosis here?
It was a large topic of the interview process.
Was it really?
No, so I'll let Dan go ahead and attack that one.
But you have to get the players.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the things that, really excited me about this opportunity was the clear collaboration that's gonna happen.
Okay.
And so, and that kind of started right away, within this process, and I think that it's early on in our conversations, and especially when coming in here and now meeting with other members of the organization, it became very clear that this is an opportunity for full collaboration at a really high level. And there will be, I came into this job, I guess I walked out of the interview and came into this position feeling very strongly that that's gonna be there. And that's something that excites me. That's something that, I've seen, and it's something that I believe in, that you have to have. You have to take all the resources that you have, all the different people and ideas, and you have to become, you're united in what your approach is gonna be and everything that you do. And I believe that's what leads to success. And so, that was, the conversations that we had, and, extremely excited about how that'll work moving forward.
Do you believe in activating your defensemen?
Do I believe in activating them?
Yeah.
Yes, in terms of, you're saying in terms of offensively?
Yep,
Getting
pinching
the
up,
play?
pinching up, yep.
Yeah, I believe that the way the game played right now, you need 5 players involved to create offense. Now, how you do that can vary, and you talk about, activation, and you talk about, the ways you create offense, you need everybody. Now, the teams are too good defensively.
Yeah.
They just are. I mean, everybody is. The goalies are too good. You have to do different things to be able to create high percentage scoring chances, high quality scoring chances. It's just really hard to come by now. And everybody's built differently in how they're gonna do that. So within the group of players that we're working with, it's looking at, how can we find the best version of that player to be able to help that. Just like we're looking on the other side of the puck, how can we get the best version of that player, who that player is, and on the defensive side of the puck, and everything in between. So activation, yes, but how you go about it, that's going to be stuff that we'll be discussing throughout the summer, and have ready to go their training camp.
Andrew on the right in the middle.
I think
Oh,
Kyle,
yeah.
I think Kyle's.
Oh, sorry, I've got part 2 here.
Yeah.
My bad, sorry. In terms of the D that we want to build,
Yeah.
I think of course you'd like it to be the biggest, most mobile, ability to move the puck and ability to make stops. I think in totality, it has to represent what we want and how we want to play. I also think that players largely fit into their system. So we may have guys that would sit back and not get into the rush. I'm talking about players we've had in the past or that we acquire. And a lot of that will fall on the two of us collectively when we're going to acquire a player, specifically a free agent, but when we draft a player or we sign a free agent in, this is the way that we expect to play. So that can happen in the draft process, it can happen in the free agency process after July 1st. And then be able to get an idea for that player's mindset and whether it may fit. But of course, when we're talking about building out the team and how we want it to play, there's always a give and take between the coach and the manager. There's the way that Dan would like the team to play, and then there's the group of players that we have and the players that are available, and then trying to find the best way collectively to move the team ahead. And I think that's one of the things that I enjoyed most about the process with Dan, was that he has very clear-cut principles, especially once you peel it back a little bit and you get to the actual system stuff, and specifically stuff you'd want to install with our players, which we're not going to get into today because it could be a long process, and everyone will see that starting in training camp. But the key thing that came up to me was that he was very adaptable. There wasn't just one way that he wants to
Gotcha.
be able to play, and he was very easily able to communicate the way that he would teach very different systems, which gave great comfort not only to me but to our staff that we weren't going to be bound by having to do one specific thing. Some of the coaches in the process had one way that they wanted to play, and that's fine, and that goes with all the sports. But Dan's adaptability and the proof of concept with his past teams was very important.